Okay, so we are gonna continue the Project English Mastery over here, and I made this small experiment over here with the video editing software. You see the Google Docs speech writing software over here, kind of. And I just with the video editing software, I just chroma keyed out this color, and I just slapped this photograph on it. And that's the great thing about like these digital things. The chroma key actually couldn't distinguish between this and this shade. It just thought that yeah, this is the same shade. You can see that this is a bit bluish, and this is complete white. This is a bit bluish, and the chroma key didn't understand that. Holy shit, it's not the same color. I don't know. So I'm just thinking about that. I have so much good photographs that I should and I ought to be using them on my channel like more. And we are going to be throwing more ideas about the background, about what we could do. Let's use a green screen. What would be the great thing about this is that we could display our art on it and get more people to notice what we are doing art-wise at the moment. What's the bad thing about it? It limits us to a very small space. Probably we can only do those talking head type of videos with it. It can't be changed. After it is done, it can't be changed. So is it really a good solution? Well, no. Let's use a pre-made solution like a paper background. The color can't be changed. They are pain in the ass to hang. Will this be good for our living functionality? Well, yeah, so we're kind of stuck. Okay. There's a way that you can actually film videos. If you didn't know this, I haven't done this, perfectly yet. But if you find a place that is very open behind your back, if you find a place that is very open behind your back, and you get almost pitch black darkness of the night, you can light yourself up with a lamp and chroma key out the black background in the video. Do you understand? You go somewhere where in the night time you take a lamp and you illuminate yourself, and then the background has to be like, for example, maybe a good thing would be to the ocean or maybe to a field, something like that, pitch black. But the problem is that usually there's the moonlight and there's usually also the starlight, so you won't be able to do this, like it's hard to actually find pitch black. There's usually always some light. And if you could film videos in a black hole, like Like, why not go to a black hole and film a video there? That would be pretty interesting. Probably never been seen before. But the problem is that if you have a wall behind you and you kind of like spotlight yourself, that wall is going to show. So you can't do probably this in the inside. It's not gonna work. So what do you do? What can you invent? That could be a solution for if you didn't want to do green screen. And the problem with it is that of course you're gonna be illuminated in a kind of contradictory way compared to your black background, and that's a problem because when you take a shot like this, the light is actually coming from back, like behind this thing, and when you stand in front of the green screen, you're gonna be illuminated from the front, and it's not going to make sense, you know. With the abstract photographs I have over here, it doesn't matter because you know, you see they don't work in the same way, or photographs like this, that won't matter, you know. But with something like a nature photograph, you know, it just will look so fucking convoluted, you know. It will look fake. So what can you do about it? Well, that's one thing you could do. You could try it. I have also done some videos with Luma Key. It's kind of different, you know. It kind of blends you into the picture more. It's very artistic. You could do very artistic things with it. That's I find it it's a really funny thing also to do. So you could experiment with that. But what I really want to, like, my goal is to unite my art with my, you know, own self, you know, make the video whole. So we might set a goal. Let's set a goal that we want on the background of the video, and as a whole the video should be a unification of my own art and my own self into one. In my like older videos, I always had my paintings on the background, and I feel that they kind of created this kind of, not very professional maybe, but this kind of, you know, very organic type of, you know, I did this type of feeling. And that's one things I'm thinking about. But really I want to do maybe that more. And the problem when we are talking about the set is of course that with some sets or some environments, you can move in so many ways in them. For example, if you go to the forest, as you have probably seen in one of my videos, I usually move in so funny ways in the forest because there are all kinds of, you know, it's just, you know, straight. And for example, stages, you know, stages are usually straight. You can only move in a certain way on a stage, but you can move in so many ways in nature, you know. So that's a limitation. You can't do that if you film yourself on a fucking, you know, background like that. What can you really do on the video? What is it really all about? It's not so interesting maybe. So that's also a problem. With some environments you can move in so many different ways. If you go to the forest or maybe even in a town, you can incorporate stairs into the set. You can sit, you can lie down, you can stand, you can do all kinds of things. It's just that you have to film it. Yeah. Okay, so you kind of get an idea over here. I have done with video editing some of those pictures where I take my art and I kind of cut my figure out of that, and I can't fucking understand why this couldn't be done pretty easily, like with video editing software, because it can be done with so easy. It can be done so easy with it with image editing. You can cut your figure out, but why isn't there just some button in a video editing software that's cut out the biggest or the like the most important figure out of if you film yourself against a white black background, because chroma key is kind of, it's so it's so sensitive to the shade. If you have a shadow, it's going to be, if you have any shadows on there, it's not going to work very good. It's easy because on computer monitors, you see it's very hard actually to create this unified wall, this unified color on a wall. It's almost it's really hard because light doesn't work that way. If we were living in anime, it would be easy. There's another idea for you. Uh, yeah. I wonder if you could do such a freaking big green screen that you could like walk like down there. Like you could walk, like into the set, and that kind of stuff, that you could do it like that. You know, I don't know about that, but yeah. Okay, then we're gonna ask a question. Should I decorate the background in some way? Usually, though, YouTube, the way people do their YouTube backgrounds, you kind of don't notice it. It can have an effect, but you kind of don't notice it. In video making, it's kind of, yeah, it's part of it, but it's not the main thing. People wouldn't watch a half hour of your black background. It's you that kind of, it's you that, and your voice and how you move and how you talk and that kind of stuff. There's so much more related to it, and developing that stuff is kind of free. So now we are gonna completely change the topic over here, and we're gonna talk about this acting thing. We're gonna talk about acting, and we're gonna say that it's going to be chapter 5. Let's just write it over here. Chapter 5, acting. I'm getting pretty hungry. I haven't eaten much of anything today, but when you do YouTube videos, are you really an actor? I would think that you become an actor at some point when you do enough videos on YouTube. You start to become a character and not your real self. And you gain so much freedom in how you can be in front of the camera that you kind of get used to just, being your boring self in front of the camera. Some YouTubers are not this way. They are just kind of being their own self. But I feel that I'm not trying to be that kind of YouTuber anymore. I did that phase. but I feel that you kind of grow out of it and you start experimenting and doing more stuff. You gain so much freedom in the way that you can be. You don't have to be yourself. You know, it's freedom. Freedom. Yeah, freedom. So, where can you learn and how can you learn to become better in acting? Because really, if you make YouTube videos, are you trying to become some character or trying to be some character, like in movies? How does this character talk, move? Is he funny or kind of serious? I want to always change myself and be always different in different videos. I want to change all the facets of who I am all the time. I want to become the YouTuber that is the same year in and year out. I don't care about that. You know? So that's the goal. That's the goal, and that's kind of acting, you know? But it's just, you know, being in front of the camera. You don't necessarily you can do YouTube videos where you don't have to be in front of the camera if you don't want to do that. You can also be under the camera. You know, here's a great shot. Here's a great thought. Could I be under the camera, not in front of it? Could I be back? Could I be in the back of the camera, not in front of it? Could I be on the side of the camera, not in front of it? How do I position myself compared or related to the camera? Okay. I have done a lot of work with this. There's the way that you talk in the video. The main problem with me is that, or my videos at the moment, I kind of feel that when I watch like how I dress and how I just, you know, are in my videos, I kind of feel that most of the environments that I film those videos in feel like holy shit, that guy doesn't belong here. Holy shit, like that guy doesn't belong in that environment, you know? And it's kind of a good thing also, like really to become this way that, you know, people are start to kind of realize, holy shit, you really don't belong here. Like you really need to be somewhere better. No, you don't belong here, dude. And but it can be kind of funny, you know, like the most you know, like the most freaking, I don't know what, the most anything goes to the most opposite of that place. You know, the most anything goes to the most opposite of that place, you know. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. You could make comedy out of that. That's the way you talk in your videos. How do you actually talk? Listen to yourself in the videos and become conscious of it. How's your voice? Is it soft or hard? High or low? What's the pitch? Yeah, the program thinks I should eat, but I'm not gonna do that, you know. I almost have nothing to eat, you know, so it doesn't really matter. I can go without eating, you know, I'm an artist. The budget. How much money do you want to put into your YouTube channel? Well, in one way or another, I would say that I put everything that I have into this. but yeah, yeah. Okay, then you could talk about advertising also. Advertising is related to like the monetization of your channel. But with YouTube, you have to become pretty big. You have to become pretty big until you can even monetize your channel. It's something like 4,000 hours watched in a year. I have something like, or I have almost, I think my channel gets like almost 1,000 hours watched in a year, but still, you know, 4,000 fucking hours watched. Like that's a lot, you know. If you keep making this short type of videos, like I don't know, how are you ever gonna reach that? I have no idea. Like, how do you get that many people to watch your stuff? I have no idea, but it's possible. Who knows? Like, I've also thought that probably the main reason my YouTube channel is not growing, it might be for the reason that I'm not growing. But I also feel that I'm growing like a huge amount, you know, in some ways, you know. So I would want to like see that, you know, also correlate with my maybe content, but I don't know. My like the reception I have on YouTube. I know that these videos are not going to be very interesting to many people, but well, you can see what I do in my life. Is that the point? Okay, now we're gonna be talking about camera gear, audio gear. I don't really know much about this, but I feel that your microphone should be like external. That's the first like thing I'm gonna say. Um, you should use external microphones because they are so much better. You should get proper tripods for your cameras. Because they make taking interesting angles so much easier. You should always try to shoot the video from straight line so the camera is not angled. But if you want to do something artistic, then yeah, you could angle your camera. Artistic. So it's not straight. You could do that. Uh, if you go out of your home, filming with more than one camera is going to be a pain in the ass. Carrying all that gear will be a struggle, and moving around with two cameras and always positioning them and making sure that you are in the frame is so time consuming and hard that maybe in the outside world you should rely on one camera and just move it around and use video editing. Maybe plan a bit better. That kind of stuff. I feel that's the way should go. I should go. I mean, so then there's the shadows. Yeah, you have to understand that I talked about the shadows with some in one of the videos I did, man. And I'm gonna say that you have to understand shadows in this way, that when a shadow is casted on a surface, the texture of the surface, for example a wall, is going to affect the shadow. If the shadow is casted to, for example, nature, it's going to be at different distances and it might not look that great. So you could build this kind of, how would I say it? How would I explain this? When you kind of have a shadow and you would want the shadow to kind of, how would I say this? Like, think about a pyramid, you know? And think about casting a shadow on a pyramid. Think about casting a shadow on a pyramid. With the steps of the pyramid, the shadow always goes further away from you. In the first step, it's really close to you. In the next step, it's further away. How is this going to affect the shadow? Well, that's something that some, installation artist could like think about. Yeah, that's one of the reasons that installation art is really interesting, and installation art is really interesting, because it deals a lot with, uh, shape, color, light. Installation art is really, we have this room, let's use this room to like create something that is not functional at all, that has no function, but it's like so, like it's so cool, so that's one of the things I'm also interested, that if there are installation artists, I could film videos, kind of also plugging your installation art, if you are that kind of an artist. But usually these exhibitions are not the way that you could like film videos on them, maybe, but if you are an installation artist, then yeah, like why not? I don't see the problem with it, yeah. But you have to understand that when you make videos, they are always on a flat surface, there's not this kind of, the background might create visual interest, but visual interest doesn't have any function, a great background, let's write over here, a visual a great background might create visual interest in the video, but it might not serve any other purpose, because videos are just flat surface. There's nothing that has depth in a video. It's an illusion. Understand this. But you could use as a background maybe a hallway. What if you try to tell horror stories in some abandoned building, abandoned hospital maybe, in the nighttime? and see what that how that would be. I'm thinking about all this, you know, this CIA type of, you know, CIA type of like. I'm thinking about, you know, like really creating like if the name of the channel is Truth Detective, I should probably focus on that. And when I'm kind of, you know, stuck with this, you know, theme now, then why don't I create like a set that kind of mirrors or matches to this name? Let's start. What if I... Okay, now it tells me to stop. Like, do you mean that that's too ambitious? I feel that that could be actually a great idea, you know. Yeah, you know Doctor Who, he has this, you know, the police box, you know, and the box, you know, it's actually a fucking set, you know. They are not inside of a fucking police box when they film that kind of stuff, you know. They are lying to you. They are not inside of a fucking police box, you know. Yeah, have you realized that? No, they're not. Yeah, they're not. They're just saying that. So if Truth Detect like there's all this kind of, you know, like Truth Detective, like how do you make a set that kind of like matches that? How do you make a set, a film set that matches the Truth Detective? Character or name. Let's just say that I'm going to make a film set. No. I'm going to create this like environment where I'm going to film my videos in the I'm going to film my videos there. And it's going to be a Truth Detective set, you know? And what are... Can I get some props that are kind of related to this? What would be the props related to like detective work? I already have some items. I have an old typewriter. That could kind of match. With the character. You know those interrogation rooms? Don't they usually... They have that, you know... They have that, you know, you can see through it. The interrogator is at the room, is in the room, and the guys that are behind the, like, they can see it, you know, and they can hear what they are talking about, but those that, you know, suspectee doesn't have any idea what is going behind, you know, that. So he can't, like, you know, the interrogator is just, you know, one guy who's trying to figure out what has been going on over here and that kind of stuff. So how would I make this kind of like what, like how would like I really have to talk to somebody that really... I just have to like pitch this to somebody, you know, that could like... I'm gonna write over here a video that making the Truth Detective movie set or YouTube set. I'm not just gonna use some fucking pre-made fucking stupid color background, you know, that's not great. And even this art that I'm doing kind of over here, maybe it's not what I'm going for. I'm also thinking about this kind of, you know, this is a crazy idea, but yeah, I know it could work. Like, what if you could display your art on your videos and make it changeable through some other means? For example, what if you could like do smaller screen type of things, and, you know, just, you know, project or kind of like chroma key on them your art. What if you could what could you like use to make that work? Well, you can of course use a monitor like behind you that has the picture on it, you know. I could use this monitor. Like, why not? I could do it. Why not try it? How, like, what would the picture look like? I could use this. Maybe I should try it. I don't know. Should I? Now it disconnected. Okay, so we are kind of getting into the territory that I can do this with maybe writing, but we start to think about props, but really I can envision, I can see something. I can see in my mind's eye that I'm kind of sitting with my detective outfit kind of at the right side of the camera, and there's a really darkish gray on the left side of the background, and some kind of metal, maybe a shelf behind, and some darkish brown color. And some red. Kind of like what you see over here. Kind of like that, you know? And there are some items in the room, or whatever it is, but the walls are made out of the same material that bunkers are made out of. You know, concrete. Grey concrete. Grey concrete. Walls. And the light is actually quite the lighting of the video is not cold, but it feels kind of a light that you could imagine in some gas chamber in a concentration camp. That kind of stuff, you know? Is there a way I can feature the art that I make on that channel? Holy shit, this is getting to an we are going to the now I'm happy with what I'm like thinking about. Like this is really what I should go for. Like not like this all of this is just this is not good, This is good. You know. This is good, This is getting me there. That this is going to get me there. It has to be this this freaking I don't know. Man, there's something going on over here. Hey man. Holy shit. There's a really olden style chair that I'm sitting on. And on the table, there's a lamp with a green plastic cover. You remember those old lamps? Those old lamps. I was actually planning on buying one of those at some point, but I never got around to it. I have to get one of those kind of lamps, that are always featured in, they have green plastic on them, and like what would be like I'm thinking about, do you know about Nixie clocks? Do you know about Nixie clocks? Nixie clocks are these tube clocks. They have tubes in them, kind of like your tube amplifier, and inside there are 9 metal plates, it's 9 metal plates. No, like how do? Well, either way, there are metal plates that light up, and they can illuminate through, and for every number there's a different plate, and when the clock changes it drives voltage to a different metal plate, and it creates this this soft warm light that is so cool looking. These are freaking nerd things, Nixie clocks nowadays. But a green, if we think about what would I need for the set, and what would be the elements in it. A really old school lamp, a really old school chair, a Nixie clock, a typewriter. My typewriter is from the 70s, so it's too old. I mean, it's too new, I can't write with the typewriter nowadays, but it's too new. So it won't kind of match, my outfit, for example. Yeah, it could match, but it's kind of, it's kind of, that, yeah. The typewriter doesn't have to even work. No. It doesn't have to even work. But a really old school lamp. I remember I was looking at these kind of lamps from, for example, from eBay, but I never bought one. I don't know why. I should have bought one. With the green cover. When we think about the table, okay, so gray walls that look like stone or concrete. It has to look like a bunker. You know, it has to look like it belongs to Hitler, you know. Yeah. Imagine a thumbnail. The guy is sitting there, kind of, the camera angle is kind of from the right. There's a Nixie clock, an old school fucking lamp, and you know, you see on the back, you know, you see a fucking typewriter. You think you're not, the guy is wearing a fucking fedora hat and wearing some fucking nice freaking gray suit, you know. You think the viewer is not going to click on that video. Well, no. Even if he might not be even interested what I'm talking about, he will click that fucking video, you know. Okay. So let's keep thinking about this. This is getting to the ambitious realm. Like this, everything that I talked before was so, you know, low level, you know. This ambition, you know, and this is getting to the ambitious level. I like this. There's some kind of intro where a lot of different shadows are casted on the wall of the detective while he's kind of doing all kinds of moves and maybe chasing some bad guy. And then in the last frame of the intro, the bad guy's face is shown, and face covered by a robber's mask. Is shown, and barred door of a prison is closed. You know, that's pretty interesting. Holy shit, I'm getting all kinds of ideas over here. We're getting somewhere, you know. Oh, hey, man. What if there was like this kind of... What if there was an old style gutter? Not a jail, but you know... Or a jail door type of thing behind the set. And there was something in that room. I don't know why, but I kind of imagine this. I don't know why, but I imagine this huge pink bunny inside of that jail. I don't know why, but I kind of, you know, just see that in my mind's eye. Okay. And like when I think about the positioning of the items, you know, in the set, well, the cameras, they might be played around with. What if there was this table between me and my audience? I'm gonna ask that question over here. What if there was this table between me and my audience? I see that the walls are kind of grey concrete, but you know, maybe that's, yeah. I'm also thinking about some backgrounds that were more aristocratic, you know, like some buildings like, you know, old castles maybe, that wouldn't match maybe, but you know, that those kind of, you know, mansion type, you know, the Victorian era type of stuff. The detective stuff is kind of maybe a newer thing maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But we have to make it match, you know. We have to make it match to this character. I have been doing this character so long that I don't see any reason that why I shouldn't kind of make this work maybe that way. I would feel that if we get to this level in my YouTube thing, that I actually have a kind of set to film against that kind of matches perfectly to my character. We are almost at the level of like filmmaking or something like that, and I feel that we have to place a kind of 2 year 2 year time. Maybe it would be maybe like 2 years before I'm able to make this kind of thing. But I'm kind of seeing the intro in my mind, and I know that I won't be able to do that intro on my own. And the filming of it, I have no idea how it could be done, but I can kind of see it that the intro video should have these sharp angles that the shadows are kind of casted on. Yeah, something like that. And there should be some song on the background. Something that matches the timeline. Well, you know about jazz. Yeah. I don't know if, you know, well, yeah, if you end up using some jazz, you know, song on your freaking you know, this whatever it might be, you know, it's just what if you end up using some jazz, you know, song on your background, it might be that um you might find something that has no copyright left anymore, but I don't know. Okay. Okay. It's getting hard. Maybe we should like, let's think about the table now. Because I really have to get a new table. What kind of a table should I get to this set? What I see in my mind is a kind of square table with maybe a lacquer finish and pretty dark. Wood. That's boring. You shouldn't do that kind of stuff. What I'm seeing is something with that kind of plastic reed mesh. When those kind of chairs, you know, in the past, you know, for example, in some, well, you know, what kind of a chair would match a detective? What kind of a chair would match a detective? I know that this kind of lamp will match a detective. This kind of lamp will for sure match a detective. Okay, I have to really think about the timelines. It doesn't have to, you know, I'm not trying to do this, you know, I'm not trying to do this, you know, historical thing out of myself. It's not really about, my channel is really not about that, but I would want to make it kind of, you know, funny, you know, more interesting visually, you know, than what it's now. I have to completely change what I do. I kind of realized at the moment that holy shit, I have to completely change my whole fucking way I do this. I have to completely change, and it's going to be freaking, no, this is not gonna be easy. You know, there are all kinds of YouTubers also that have on the background, you know, all kinds of, you know, booze and, you know, liquor and, you know, those kind of dudes that also always talk about, you know, drinking. The drinking videos, you know, that those are all over the place on YouTube also. But have you noticed that there's something uniting about these videos? And what is that? What's the uniting thing about these videos? It's usually that they are always about something. They're usually always about something that the guys are kind of doing in the video. And on top of that, that they're usually also like something is that they are not, you know, very professionally set, you know, those videos. They're just, you know, kind of slapped together, and I really want to like avoid that type of thing. So let's just think about it. Can we copy this? Yeah. Okay. That's that. I feel that now we should go to the next chapter. And we're gonna talk about chapter 10, marketing. Okay. How will I get people actually to know about this channel? What means can I use? Well, I have used business cards and stickers, and I have talked to people, and on the internet I have used email, and I have used some social medias. You know, I don't do social media that good nowadays. I have to think about that, but we kind of got somewhere in this. I'm starting to see something. I'm starting to like feel where this channel could be taken to in the future. So thanks for watching. Let's keep going.